Hi class, this is Robert Fisher. Today I'm going to talk to you about the pros of the death penalty. I'm also going to tell you why I am for the death penalty, maybe in a little story about my family and how it affects us, and then also give you some good points on the benefits of having the death penalty. I'll start out by telling you why this topic interests me. My family last year went through a rough time when my cousin's husband held his 5-year-old son hostage while the police were outside, only to eventually kill his own son, 5-year-old boy, before turning himself over to the police. He is currently on death row facing the death penalty. Now, there's a few reasons why I am going to explain to you why I think the death penalty is the right way to go for capital punishment for murder. I don't believe that this should be taken lightly, and I'm not saying that at all. But I do believe that when you are a murderer and you are consciously killing another person, you deserve the same fate that you put upon someone else. So without further ado, I'm going to go through a little bit of those facts that I saw on the internet and read about in articles and books. First of all, on balancepolitics.org, what stood out on this page to me was it gives closure to the victims' families of the people that were murdered by these criminals. So many times murderers are just left on life with parole, and the family never really gets that closure until they die of natural causes. Needless to say, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars later, and sometimes 50, 60 years, they're just rotting in a jail cell with no chance of ever getting out. So I vote, let's give these families their closure and make some more room in our prisons. Second point I got from greengarbageblog.org, and it is the death penalty overall is cheaper. Now, I do believe that the death row is really extended a lot longer than what it should be. I think it should be limited to a certain number of years, because you have criminals on death row that have been there for decades, just waiting to die. That's not any different than death, or than life in prison without parole. There's a better chance of you dying of natural causes on death row waiting that long than actually getting the punishment you deserve. Third point. The rate of murder would significantly drop. I got this information off prodeathpenalty.com. With the threat of punishment of death for committing a capital punishment, for committing murder, would, in my eyes and a lot of people's eyes, according to this website, would deter people from doing this. I can understand that. I personally wouldn't kill anybody anyway, but if I did, then I would, and I knew that was an issue, and you'd have to accept it. If everybody knew whenever you committed capital murder, you faced capital punishment, I could see that could be a deterrent. Fourth one I'm going to reference is a little background first. I grew up in a private Christian school for 18 years of my life. I was raised in church and in a Christian school. So I'm going to refer to the Bible for this last one. It is Exodus 21:24, and it simply says, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. And I don't see how it could be any clearer than that. You kill somebody, you be killed. It goes that way for everything in life. You don't even have to look at it as the Bible, as a reference for it. You can just look at it as a karma. What goes around comes around. So those are a few reasons why I have decided to, really take a stand for the death penalty. There are cons to the death penalty, but I feel that the pros greatly outweigh those. Very much. Thank you, and have a good night.